Welcome to episode 3 of the Liz Dees Art Podcast. I'm here with Poppy Tuovinen, who has recently completed a Fine Art Foundation degree, and we'll be talking about faces and portraiture in art, because that features quite a lot in our work. So, before I begin, let's just set the scene. Today's conversation is about something we all recognise, faces.
Yeah.
So why are we drawn to faces? And what's actually happening when we look at a portrait? Okay, so that's what we're going to go into a little bit. We've both have focused on portraiture and faces in our work.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. So why do you think humans are so drawn to faces?
Well, I think, especially in my art, I've always focused on faces and portraiture. I've always been interested in it a lot. But I think people are drawn to faces because of the familiarity, but also the fact that there's always something different or something new to see in a face or in something that maybe looks like a face. So we're drawn to that because we want to figure it out for ourselves. We want to see, why is there certain different bits? Do I like that? Do I not?
So something new, do you mean in terms of the way different people look? Or nuances of expression and that kind of thing?
I'd probably say both. I'd probably say differences definitely in features, because obviously every face you see, and you're bound to see something different in every person's face.
That's true.
Anything that's you've maybe not seen before, or you've seen similar, but there's still something slightly different, so you'll instantly draw to that.
That's interesting, because I read somewhere that in art, well, when you're viewing art, people are drawn to differences. So for example, if there's a sharp line between something very light and something very dark, that's almost the first thing you look at in a painting.
Yeah.
But if it's all very nuanced and subtle and you don't notice that first, that's something you might look at secondarily. So
yeah,
that's interesting. So the way the face is made up, your eyes, your nostrils or nose and your mouth are so much darker than the rest of your face. I mean, they are in white Caucasian people.
Yeah.
I guess in black or Afro-Caribbean or Indian cultures, the skin colour is slightly different, but I think sometimes maybe then the features appear lighter.
Yeah.
But whatever race you come from, there's a distinct difference between eyes, nose and mouth.
Maybe some features bolder than others. It's always that focal point, I think.
And as a viewer, you're noticing the differences.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So going off on a slight tangent here, I wonder if we've chosen to use faces and portraiture in our work as a means of getting the viewer to look at our work.
Yeah.
Drawing the viewer to our work.
Oh, absolutely. It's the whole reason why I've always been drawn to portraiture, and looking at different faces, even if I just see a photo or, a photographer who's taken photos of people, I'm always drawn to looking more at people's faces than if someone was to take a photo of a landscape or something. I think that's why I've stuck to portraiture in most of my art, prints, drawings, whatever it is.
Maybe we're exploring why we're drawn to portraiture. What is it about faces and identity?
Questioning
and people?
It ourselves as well.
Why? So in our art practice, we're investigating that through the way we portray people in faces and portraiture. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't realise how psychologically deep it might be that I want to paint faces.
So we could both look at one person and interpret them in different ways.
Yes. Going back to the draw of the face for our attention, just sort of going back to that a little bit and talking about, I read somewhere as well that babies, that's the almost first thing they see, the first thing they can recognise is the face as maybe a survival and protection thing, so they recognise their mother. The weird thing that happens with humans is Not everybody can do this, actually. You know, when you see shapes in things, like you see shapes in clouds, apparently not everybody can do that. Not everybody has that perception, which is interesting. So I think most artists must have that perception. Yeah. To be an artist, you must have that.
Open part of your brain to search for things like that.
Search for shapes or meaning. So, yeah, humans having that, people being able to recognise things in clouds or see patterns in things.
Yeah.
That is the unique skill that I think artists probably have. For example, you know, you can look in the grain of wood, and if there's a couple of knots or a shape in the grain of the wood, you recognise something and you see, oh, it looks like a face, looks like a dog or something.
Yeah, you know. Try to see, where are the eyes? Oh, look, there's that. There's a face there staring at me.
Again, why? Why do we have that? You know, and again, it's maybe this deep-rooted lizard brain instinct of survival, so that you can recognise another human for maybe care and protection, or to see if they're a threat, maybe.
Yeah, it all stems back to like when you're a baby, as well as looking at the world and trying to figure it out. You are looking at faces. Probably one of the first things you see is the face of your mum or the face of your dad, and that's probably why babies just stare at people for so long, because they're trying to figure out your face, like when you're moving, when you're talking.
It's about
it's figuring
developing their own identity.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, maybe identifying a predator. So most animals have, you know, somewhere in the food chain, they have things that they eat and things that eat them. So from our perspective as humans, human animals, we're trying to identify, is that a predator? And everything has a face. All animals have a face.
Is that something that's a threat, or is that something that is not a threat? Is something that
like
I'm
insects.
still interested in.
I can't see the face on the insect, so it's maybe not a threat.
Yeah, so you don't think that much of it. But
it's so deep-rooted, isn't it? It's so deep-rooted.
Some people think
the way we're hardwired, isn't it, really?
It's like people watching, you know. If you're watching people, you're watching
I love people watching so much.
I do as well. Like, I see, that's what I'm saying, like, some people do it but don't realise.
Yes. And
that they are.
Seeing images of faces and other people all the time helps reinforce and build your own identity slowly over time, doesn't it? Because you take on other people's styles or behaviour. And then you might reject certain behaviour and styles to identify yourself with a certain group of people, to reinforce who you are.
Oh my
God, that's so deep. Let's just move on slightly. So before we talk a little bit more about identity, I want to ask you, why do you choose images of the figure or portrait for your work? Why do you think you do that?
I've always drawn more faces, like closer up, than figures, but I think it's because I just love seeing different faces. It's seeing for myself my own identity, but also seeing or thinking about identity in different people. Because, you know, the way if someone looks, you can kind of not presume, but you can kind of think, oh, I wonder what type of person that is.
A lot of your work, especially your printed stuff, are quite, what's the word to describe them? You use very bold colours. So it's like red and black and yellow and black and really quite bold colours. And they seem to me, what's the word for it? Sort of not shocking, but kind of challenging in a way. They're a little bit they're a little bit loud in terms of what they're saying to the audience. Because there's a bit of a subculture thing going on there. And I think you've also only portrayed females, is that right, in all your portraits?
I think I have drawn some males before, but I have always gone to females because I've always stuck to quite a bold style, especially in portraits, because just the style of how I draw and stuff has always been that way anyway. But especially with portraits and features, I love making them bold and stand out and making it quite raw. to look at. And I guess I've always focused on like female faces because, well, I've enjoyed drawing that more because of making sort of a point of, oh look, this is a powerful face of a powerful woman. Because obviously myself, I've always wanted to be quite a powerful woman. And
well, that's great.
Yeah, so I like to reflect that in other people that I've drawn.
So
no matter
it's about
the subject,
power,
you know. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
So you're maybe wanting to portray women more powerful because you want women to be more powerful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, brilliant. We've talked about how you are portrayed as quite powerful images with strong, bold colours and that kind of thing. And maybe even the subject looking direct at the viewer as well. So in using sort of certain composition or distortion or abstraction, what do you think? And we've already said about you wanting to make women powerful, but you know, is there anything more than that you're trying to portray? And what do you want the viewer to feel?
Well, especially with me, when I draw faces, it's always quite, the person's looking at you, the portrait's looking at you. And for some reason, I love portraits of somebody maybe thinking and looking away from the viewer, but I love having that eye contact between like a charcoal drawing or something that I've done, for example. I like that connection between the viewer because it's like they're looking at this person and they're questioning, oh, what's that person thinking? I'm drawn to that because it's making me feel a certain way, but I need to figure that out. So that's why I like boldness in what I draw, because it's the person having that connection. It's like having that focus point on their eyes. So they're thinking, oh, what's that person? How is that person making me feel? Do I relate to them?
Yes.
Or do I maybe feel a bit uncomfortable if I'm looking at that? If it's like an emotion, a raw emotion, or if it's somebody that they do relate to for themselves and their own identity.
So it's demanding by focusing on portraits and maybe the subject looking direct at the viewer. You're kind of demanding attention. You're trying to draw something out of the viewer.
Yeah.
Or
wanting them to question. What is this?
Or
why is
projecting something onto the viewer.
It's the emotion that I'm drawn to.
Yeah.
It's the emotion in someone's face.
Right.
When I look at people's faces, whether they're pulling a facial expression or whatever. So I like to kind of reflect that in the portrait. I might be drawing a portrait and think, okay, this person's feeling this is you know. But sometimes I don't. I just draw an emotion, or I draw what someone's.
So it's embedding some sort of emotional response in the drawing. From you as an artist, you're embedding an emotional response in the way you draw an image. Whether it's from life or a photograph or whatever, you're trying to draw meaning out of that. And then that in turn obviously naturally stimulates the viewer in order for them to interpret that.
It kind of allows them to interpret how they feel about the drawing or the painting, print or whatever. The same way I've done with making it, it allows them to stand and look at it and think, how do I feel about this? You know, how do I like the look of this person? Do I not? Oh, that this person feels powerful. I also feel powerful as well.
Forcing an emotion.
So
that, I mean, moving on to the fact that both of our use of portraits in our work is slightly abstractified, if that's a word. We go down rather than portraying people very realistically like photorealism or anything more down towards the realistic end of the spectrum. We're veering towards the opposite end where, I don't know if it's a real word, but abstractify. We're treating the portrait and the figure, the face, with more abstract treatment. So I know I do that a lot. And I think I know why I do that, because I want the image to be, or the face to be, adopted or recognised, or what's the word for it? I want people to relate to the face. I want more people to relate to that face. I want it to be a more generic face. So rather than too ambiguous, because I think ambiguity has less meaning in it.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, the viewer can read their own meaning to it, but I think ambiguity can be a bit weak, I think. So my portraits, I'm really hoping that people can see themselves in those faces. So it's a generic face of a young woman.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that people are just thinking, well, I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
They're thinking, well, that symbolises maybe a whole generation or that's what I'm trying to get at, use my portraits, so that I'm trying to convey, again, a powerful image of a woman, or a woman being very owning herself, her own figure, owning her own look, and saying, this is it, take it or leave it, really, you know. But the empowerment, I'm trying to evoke empowerment. Whether I've achieved that or not, I don't know, is why I sort of make my faces, I simplify them and make them more abstract. I presume, I don't know, presume yours are in a similar way, you know.
Well,
why don't you go down the realistic route?
I've never really been interested in creating a very hyper-realistic portrait of someone, like it's almost a photo of them. I've always preferred, rather than doing all of the exact measurements of making a face up, of still drawing a face and drawing somebody, but going more simpler, less detailed. I mean, there has been some drawings that have gone very detailed or very close-ish to realism, but it's always still been, there's still been like the simple layout of a face. It's still there, but it's not
to interpretation.
It's still open to interpretation.
Well, that's it. There's still the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Even if they're just blobs. Or they're sketchy shapes. There's still that pattern. You couldn't emit the mouth or the nose or an eye.
No.
Well, you can like, I've done some paintings where it's literally just half a face. There's like, I've literally, the edge of the canvas is down the middle of the face, and you see half a nose, half a mouth, and half an eye.
But we're still showing those.
We still recognise that as a face. We know it's a face.
I think it's as even if it's simpler, recognising there's a face there, and thinking, oh, what are they projecting onto me? You know.
So interestingly, I wonder how many parts of the face you can abstractify even more, or
how
remove,
many you can get rid of,
before it stops becoming a face. As well.
Because I think even if it's a painting of an eye, which showing a bit of the eye, like area of the face around the eye, you still, even if it's one singular feature, you're still looking and you're like, oh, that's part of a face.
That is,
And even if it's really close up drawing or something of, you know, a corner of the eye or anything, like maybe that's where it gets to a point where you think, oh, I think that is a face, or that looks like the shape of a face. But that would probably still make someone think, it definitely would for me, of what does the rest of the face look like. So you're still naturally
you're making the face in your own head. You're giving it another eye and the rest of the features.
You still naturally want to see a face, and you're still intrigued by that.
Well, that's interesting, because you wouldn't necessarily just paint the nose or the nostrils.
No,
you might paint lips. I've seen paintings of lips before. That's interesting. So but you wouldn't really paint a nose on its own. That would be a bit strange.
I
wonder why. Isn't that odd? I know, I'm pretty obsessed with eyes, and I've made paintings just of eyes. And I collect other people's work of eyes as well. We're drawn to eyes, and they say, what is it? They say eyes are the windows to our soul.
Definitely.
So there's something, and when you first look at a portrait, whether it's a photograph or a painting, your eyes go straight to their eyes.
I definitely,
that's the first thing you look at,
straight away
isn't it?
Look at someone's eyes, because that's the connection of, oh, I'm looking at you, I'm talking to you. Like, I'm talking to you right now, I'm looking at your eyes. So I think even if like the eyes went, you wouldn't know where to look, or you'd think, oh, this is weird. I've not got a focal point I can look at.
It would be slightly disturbing or unnerving, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If there was just like eyebrows, nose and mouth, and no eyes.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't know what to look at. Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. I think it is that eyes is what makes up. Obviously, you've got all the features that make up a face, but I think the eyes are probably one of the most important things that people look at straight away. Even if when somebody talks to someone and they don't keep eye contact, the eyes are still there to make.
I think the most of our nuances of our expressions as well, we were able to recognise the tiniest nuance in our facial expressions, and it's around the eyes. Most of the expression is around the eyes, maybe the corners of the mouth and that kind of thing. But
like scrunching your nose or anything.
And I was just thinking then as well, if you look at an animal, you look at their eyes first, and they look at your eyes. It's all about us recognising each other, isn't it? And navigating the world in that way. Oh, bizarre.
Whilst you're talking to somebody, you're exploring their face. You know, you're exploring what differences they have to you.
Yeah, so moving away from eyes.
Yeah.
So let's forget about eyes for a minute. Other elements in a portrait. So the hairstyle, the clothing, the jewellery, that kind of thing. How important are they, do you think?
I think they're really important because they show someone for who they are. If they're the difference that they have compared to another person. So if, you know, what style they have maybe and what culture they could be part of. I think it's really important in just who they are as a person.
Cultural identity is a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's an expression. There's people's clothing, hairstyles and jewellery and that kind of thing are very much an expression of themselves. They're trying to convey something to other people.
Yeah. Whether that's piercings or if it's coloured hair or even not coloured hair, just like a certain hairstyle.
Yes.
They're showing who they are through doing that.
And aligning themselves with other people of that similar, I don't know, subculture or something, I suppose. Because
even though everybody is different, there are, I guess, different groups of people that have similarities in how they like to express themselves.
It's either inviting or it's sometimes an element of repelling people to say, you know, don't fuck with me kind of thing. You know, I know what I want and I know where I am. It's almost maybe there's the messages that are being sent out from people's hairstyles, jewellery or makeup or clothing are kind of, sometimes they're like the alluring or the trying to draw people in. To say, look at me, I'm attractive, or look at me, I'm trying to say something to you. But then sometimes it's don't mess with me. I'm not inviting attention.
No.
The opposite of that.
Yeah, I'm not one to be messed with. It's kind of standing in your own identity, like standing with what you believe in. Or what you like, because obviously there are different types of people. So this is what I like, this is who I am. And I'm going to share that because I'm passionate about that.
So the way you, especially with your print work, do you feel when you've done the big portraits on the big boards, you've portrayed very much the hairstyle, the clothing, that kind of thing, even maybe the makeup. You've definitely included that in your representation of those people.
Definitely, because I like to include other elements like historical things that I'm interested in, facts and stuff. But it always does stem down to the portrait and them kind of being reflected with those other elements that I include in the. It's kind of the boldness and the strongness of. This is a person here.
So the portrait, tell me a bit more about how the portrait relates to the other elements. So you mentioned historical elements. Are these when the big prints there were like joker cards and like playing cards type things?
Yes, I did 3 big pieces. One all relating to Jester, Harley Quinn and Period. I think that's how you say it. Which are obviously historically male character figures.
Yes, of course they were.
Historically male, but I wanted to twist them onto using 3 different female, female people, like people that I know, but female characters, to kind of bring a slight modern twist to those historical figures. And I was first drawn to each of the people that I printed and painted over them. I was drawn to the faces, so like the makeup, I was like, oh, that reflects kind of the style of the jester, but it also reflects that person, as who they
personality,
are as well.
Yes,
their personality,
right. Yeah.
Even if it's not the personality of a jester character to be funny and to entertain and stuff, but it's more of like the shapes and the boldness, more of, oh, this is a person who is quite punk. You know, quite punk. This is the type of attitude that they've got.
That's interesting because punk makeup, and I mean, you don't wear any makeup at all.
No,
but your girlfriend does wear quite severe makeup, and she was in one of these portraits, wasn't she? And that's interesting. Is like the sort of the application of makeup and is it? Yeah, what is that saying? I probably should be asking Tamika this, really. You know, what are you trying to say with your makeup?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a jester, a harlequin, and a Pierrot. They all wore makeup.
Yeah.
Even the male characters.
And it was all different.
And they to create themselves as theatrical figures.
Yeah.
And this is where in theatre, I'm getting really deep now. This is where in theatre, the use of the mask means that the actor can play other characters and other generic archetypal characters through the use of the mask. And I'm wondering if the makeup means that you can, especially in a Harlequin, Jester and Pierrot, you can use the makeup in order to play different archetypal characters.
Yeah.
In fact, the Jester is an archetypal character, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
So, I really should interview Tamika about her makeup, really, because I'm not sure. I mean, do you know, what do you think she's using the makeup to convey?
Obviously this is my interpretation of her and her face.
You as an artist who used her portrait in one of your pieces,
I think it's, to show boldness to her personality. I think the makeup reflects her personality of being very, strong, bold, and, you know, this is who I am. I'll stand and say what I think. Outspoken and bold. So that's why I thought instantly when I saw this makeup that she'd done, I thought, well, this is perfect. I love this.
It probably gives her confidence.
Yeah.
And so therefore using the image of her with the makeup is basically saying, this is what confidence looks like, that you hope that influences other women to be more confident.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. Right. I'm glad we've got to the bottom of that. I'll just read this out because I probably can't remember the whole sentence. So in contemporary culture, in a world saturated with faces through social media and photography, advertising, etc., is portraiture still relevant? So we talked about using the face in our work as an attention grabber, getting people to look, and the fact that we look straight at the eyes. But in a world where faces are everywhere, they're in our social media and the whole selfie culture thing, isn't it, really? They're everywhere, and you can take a photograph of somebody's face easily. Why in art, why are we using portraiture? Is the interpretation of somebody's face into something else still relevant? Does that make sense in this modern world? We've talked about how we abstract or maybe use certain colours or certain treatments or certain drawing styles of faces to try and convey emotion and that kind of thing, which can or can't be conveyed via a selfie. I mean, reels. We live in a reel culture. Like reels, videos. And I was watching somebody on Instagram last night while scrolling that talked about making people stop for a moment and look at something for longer than 3 seconds. and consider it and think about it. And I'm wondering if that's the role of art, really.
Yeah.
Because they're still images. Well, our art is. We're not making video art or film art. So maybe we're inviting the audience to just take a moment to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look for longer than 3 seconds at something. Look at a still image rather than a moving image.
Yeah.
Take something from that.
Yeah. I think that's
do
really
some contemplation,
important.
some reflection.
Yeah. I think that's really important, especially in art, because obviously with the modern culture now, it's one video after another that's maybe less than 10 seconds long. It's like, oh, I've seen this, I'll move on, seen this, move on. And you probably don't even think about everything that you've seen in these videos by the end of the day, because your brain's just processed so many things at once.
It's throwing them out,
probably.
probably.
Think about it. Yeah. So I think definitely with a piece of work that's still, there's no sound to it, I guess. There's no like grabbing points to think, oh, watch this. Oh no, now watch this. I think a piece of artwork makes you stand and really think and actually look at it and soak it in, because it's there. It's obviously, you can include music, you can include sound with art, you know, but just going to the basic bog standard, a piece of art on a wall in front of you, it's silent. It makes you look at it, it makes you think more about it, makes you spend more time looking at it, which I think is really good and really important.
Without the music as well, because music can evoke all sorts of emotions.
Yeah.
And it's great if you accompany your work on social media, for example, with some music, then you're using the music to enhance the meaning, I suppose.
Yeah.
But in a gallery, or if it's not, if people are looking at the image of your work without music, then you're just asking them to take
a moment to
and have an emotional response from your work. There's
so much to see and so much to, I guess, interpret, to think.
So maybe it's like a break away from that.
Yeah,
it's a tranquil, reflective, or almost meditative escape from the rest of the world. Like you said, seeing faces and people every day on social media and in advertising everywhere. So because the act of actually making art is very meditative. I can't even say that word, but you know what I mean. And maybe just looking at it. I love to own art. You know, as you know, all over my house I've got paintings of stuff, and I find I really like to live with a piece of art. I like to have it there. I glimpse it occasionally, or I might just sit and stare at it for a while. Or I like to live with it because I get something from it, and it's reinforcement. Maybe you like something and it reinforces something that you believe about yourself. Or about life.
That you believe it. It makes you think. Just take a minute to look at how it was made, or certain marks that you can see, or things underneath it. Anything, like, you could look at it that way, or you could look at it and then it makes you think about yourself, or it makes you think about other people, the world.
I really like pieces of art where you're still questioning it. No, even if you've owned it for like a year and you've seen it maybe almost every day for a year, you're still sort of thinking, I wonder what it's about. Or what does it mean to me? And that narrative is going on and on. It's not like you've seen it, you've decided what it says to you, and you're done with it. And you move on. Real art. It's a constant relationship between you and that piece of work. It never goes away.
Because each time you look at it, you think, even if you look at a certain part of it, or you just look at it as a whole, you think about it, you're bound to think of a different thing every time you look at it. You're still trying to figure out what this piece means, or who they are, or what they're doing.
It speaks to you.
It's a break, because we see people every day.
And reels. I mean, when we're doom scrolling, as they call it, or whatever, wonder how much percentage of reels have people in them.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much most of them, if not all of them, have people or faces or pictures of humans. And that's bonkers, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're desperately trying to grab your attention for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Either to tell you something or just to...
Through their face and voice. It's crazy to think that you do, online and in person, you are seeing people every single day. Probably almost every second of the day. So it's quite a lot for you to process. So that's why it's like the space to kind of sit and think and kind of have almost a break from all of that
all the attention grabbing, selling stuff.
Yeah, it's, you can just look at one thing and just think, okay, that's like, you can actually have the time to think about it.
I think it's a little bit about like a little bit like staring across to the horizon. I mean, unfortunately in Hull, because it's so flat here, we very rarely see the horizon. You know, all we see is what's at the end of the street or something. But looking at the horizon, I don't know what it is about it, but basically it's you're allowing your brain to contemplate further than instant gratification. So it's art is sort of anti instant gratification.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
And so here's the dichotomy of it, is you have art that's saying don't consume, stop consuming, just pause for a moment and look. But then art is a commodity. You buy it. You buy it to get that gain. Although we create it. Which is free to us. If we are going to spend time creating it, that's not costing us any money really, apart from the cost of the pencil or the paint or what have you. We haven't had to buy that. We've chosen to create it, which I think is a big difference from people needing to buy. Even though we want people to buy it. But
compared to somebody who isn't creating the art, they're buying the art. So I think it can be used in like a commercial way of buy this. But then there's people that like to create because they enjoy it, and then if somebody has a connection to their work, they're happy about that. So they're like, I love that this has come to a good home or a good earner in a way. You know?
So we're kind of using faces to attract people to our work, or to demand attention and to convey a message. And we're wanting people to, all artists have to make a living. What's wonderful if somebody, I talked last time with David Lauer about the monetarisation of art. So we won't go down that route too much, but we want people to own our art because we want that message conveyed. We want... It's a little bit of a recognition and reward for ourselves.
You want it to be shared with other people.
It's about sharing something, isn't it? We don't create art to put it in a dark cupboard and never look at it.
It's sharing why you've made it.
Sharing a meaning or conveying a message. Oh, well, here's the thing as well, right, is in us sort of trying to get our message out there to people in a way in which now it's social media and the web, the digital world is the way in which we can connect with other people. And even though art has portraits in it which demand attention and get people to look at it, if we wanting to engage and connect with people, to introduce them to our art, the main method through is like talking head videos, using our own image. So to engage people, to say, look, here, we're artists. Come and engage with us. Come and learn about, this is what I'm about. This is my philosophy of life. And this is why I make this work. So in a way, we're having to use ourselves as well. Our own image, our own human image, in order to...
to have that sort of communication with somebody who might have an interest in our art, but there might be somebody that like would look at you and think, I relate to you in a way.
It's like a double whammy, really. But it's a modern phenomenon. I can't even say that. It's a modern phenomenon The only other way of, it's kind of like marketing, but it's also PR, and it's just getting our message out there. It's talking to people, meeting people.
I think gives us more information.
It's more powerful.
So I guess there is a good side to sharing your art and talking about your art, showing who you are, like on social media.
Seems to be really important, especially in modern culture.
Yeah.
So in your own art, have you done anything other than, have you always done portraiture?
Honestly,
Largely.
Yeah, I think, I've drawn like things that I've just imagined. So like characters, like recently I've just been doing like some small prints on sort of circus related things.
Yes.
The odd thing has still included a face in some sort of way.
Yes.
But if I was to properly, other than just like a little drawing, if I was going to make something and really think about it, it has always been portraiture, really. In a weird way, it's always been something that
some artists are drawn to, like landscapes. For me, it doesn't do anything for me, and I've never gone down that road. But I know some people who, it's almost like that's the first thing they go to.
Yeah, it's like, if someone likes to draw buildings, it's like I appreciate architecture in buildings, but I wouldn't. If I was going to go make something myself, I wouldn't include just a building. I'd still include a portrait of some sort or a person.
And I think looking at a landscape, for example, it's the same sort of thing with a piece of art. You're taking time away from everything else. You're just staring at this piece of art and reading into it. What does it mean to you? And a landscape could convey quite a lot of socio-economic things as well, and maybe even emotion. So it's just another tool, isn't it? So maybe we're using the face as a tool, and a landscape artist might use the light and the topography and that kind of thing, and the weather, the sky.
They're using the location as a way to convey a certain meaning or a certain thing, whereas we're using faces in probably the same way, just a different subject matter, you know. So I guess it's, to kind of sum it up,
art is all about sort of getting people to see, asking people to look more. So maybe, will this change your mind about how you see people, how you look at things? I hope it does a little bit.
How you perceive things in your everyday life.
So art in general, what we're saying really, whether it's faces or landscape or what, art in general is, we're trying to convey something. It's not just drawing a pretty picture of something. There's there's an emotion, and we're trying to convey a message in it as well. So when you look at art, especially portraiture, what kind of things do you get from it? What kind of emotions does it evoke or bring up in you? Thanks, Poppy, for coming and doing this podcast with me. Thank you very much.
Well, pleasure is all mine.